Well, hey guys, just want to do a quick video real quick. I've had the opportunity to write 3 books. I've actually got my 4th one in editing right now. And I've had a couple of people ask, hey, what are the differences between your 3 books? And so I just want to do a quick video about that. And my first book was actually called Heart of the Father. And the genesis behind this book was really in a season where there was a lot of things going on in the world. There seemed to be a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty. And the thing about believers is that if you are in Christ, it says that you have the mind of Christ, that Ephesians says we are currently seated with Jesus in heavenly places. And so I can respond to the world around me using man's wisdom or my own wisdom, or I can tap into what Jesus is thinking and what Jesus is doing. I can take my seat with him and ask for his perspective. And so with all these things going on in the world around me, I started praying. I was like, Lord, what in the world is going on here? And what is your perspective? And as I started praying that, several days later, I woke up and this image just flashed across my mind. And in this image, I believe it was a response to what I had been praying about. And I called it Heart of the Father, receiving God's love. Hey, there's a first, we got to receive his love, and then representing it in a chaotic world. And so that's what this book is about. It's our heart posture of how do we respond to the world around us. There's many ways that our flesh wants to respond. Sometimes it's to totally check out. Sometimes it's to get mad at the chaos around and to complain about the chaos. But how many of you know it takes zero talent? It takes zero talent to call out the problems in culture and society. It takes zero talent. Anybody can do that. If we've got the mind of Christ, we should be the most genius people on the planet, right? We should be the smartest people on the planet. Like anybody can complain. We should be men and women who offer solutions. And so in this book, I kind of talk about heart posture and how do we respond to the world around us. But first part is catching the heart of the Father. And so heart of the Father, receiving God's love and representing it in a chaotic world. The second book I wrote is called Leading with Insight, 31 Days of Wisdom for Leaders. This book actually, I would say probably was the first book that I wrote. Many of you know our story. My wife and I, in a 5-year period of time, we built 2 physical therapy clinics, had 4 gyms, had 3 kids, sold all the businesses, kept all the kids. And I launched my current business, which is doing leadership training, coaching, developing those kind of things. And I like to say building leaders and transforming culture. That's what we do. And so before we sold, part of my schedule was I would get to our gym. I would be there from about 5 to 7:30. I would walk over and go to our physical therapy clinic, be there from 7:30 to about 4:30, and then back over at the gym. And so when we sold those and developed some leaders for that, instead of just sleeping in, I decided to continue getting up early and just spending time in the presence of the Lord. And in this season, the Lord just had me in Proverbs. So I was reading a proverb per day, and I would just get out a notebook and I would write what the Lord was teaching me. And really, this book comes from that time with the Lord. I never thought I would actually write it, but as I was writing, I was like, man, this is really good. Maybe I should share it with other people. And so I call it Leading with Insight, 31 Days of Wisdom for Leaders. We take 1 proverb per day. There's 31 chapters of proverb, and we take 1 proverb from 1 chapter, and I partner it with a leadership principle. What is so profound to me is that King Solomon wrote most all of the proverbs. And if you think about Solomon, his dad was King David. David, he has the affair with Bathsheba. The prophet comes to him and says that, hey, the baby's going to die. But then he comes back later on and says, hey, you're going to have another son. You're going to name that son Solomon, and he's going to be the next king of Israel. So think about this. From day one, Solomon is born, and he is trained up, not like other people. He is trained up to lead an entire nation. He's trained to lead people. And so we look through Proverbs in this book through the lens of leadership. And so that's what that book is about, Leading with Insight, 31 Days of Wisdom for leaders. My next, the newest book is called Sinners in the Hands of a Merciful Father. And back in, let's see, I just kind of start this book off with Proverbs 25:11. It says, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. And what I really talk about is the timing of word, knowing the times and seasons that we're in and knowing what to do. It says the sons of Issachar knew the times and seasons and what Israel should do. The Lord does not change, but kind of culture does, in the way that he interacts with culture. He may do that in different ways, but on July 8th, 1741, Puritan pastor Jonathan Edwards, he preached a sermon that pricked the heart of an entire generation, and he titled his sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. And it was a message in season for the people in that generation, because what it did was actually help launch the first Great Awakening in America. And so I feel like, so I include his entire sermon in Sinners in the Hands of a Merciful Father. As I was doing this, so that sermon is actually in the public domain. So I got that, included it in this book, and I thought about updating it to kind of the vernacular and the way we talk today, but I just, after thinking about it, praying about it, just decided to keep it in its original format. I say that because to me it's a little bit of a hard read. It's just because we don't talk like that anymore. But he minces no words. He gets to the point. He just very vivid describes the reality of hell. And it pricked the heart of an entire generation. I believe there's another message that the Lord is trying to reveal to his sons and daughters in this generation, and that is he is a merciful Father. Look, the reality of hell still remains the same. The justice of a loving Father remains the same. That does not change. But we are in, I read this the other day, we are in the largest fatherless generation in history where fathers did not go off to war. Think about that. There are fathers in the home that are not in the home, or they're not in the home. They're totally absent. And I think the Lord is revealing himself as a true father. What does a true father look like? And I believe people are hungering for fathers, and the Lord is revealing himself as a father. And so in this book, I include Jonathan Edwards' sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. It does not discount that message, because his message was timely, and I think there's another message that is timely for our generation. The seriousness and the reality of hell remains the same, yes, for sure. But the Lord is revealing himself as a good Father. And so I talk about that in this book, Sinners in the Hands of a Merciful Father. And so I just want to do a quick video to describe those. I've got a new book coming out. It should be released probably sometime in August 2024, and I'm talking about champions, the attitude, the choice, and the lifestyle of what it looks like to be a true champion. Champions, real champions, they're bigger on the inside than they are on the outside. They are good at what they do. They are exceptional. They do things with excellence, but they're great at who they are. And so, hey, just want to do this quick video. Hope this adds value to you. You can get any of these 3 books on Amazon. You can get it on my website, CoryLeeLeadership.com. You can do CoryLeeLeadership.com/Heart of the Father, CoryLeeLeadership.com/Leading with Insight, and then Merciful Father. You can get all 3 of those on my website or on Amazon. And so, hey, I hope this video adds value to you. I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.